people might say to me, "Oh, you've known Swami Kriyananda for 40 years. How I wish I knew Swamiji." And because Swamiji lived with Yoganandaji, he accomplished so much in one lifetime. I've been watching Swamiji on YouTube, and all of those books and talks. He's just so wise. And while all of this is true, it's interesting how Swamiji himself would often say that the saints have not come to show us how great they are. They've come to show us how great we, each of us, can become. And Swamiji personified this in his own life, that for even an obviously great accomplishment, he would never take credit himself. He would give all of that credit to some inspiration he felt from his guru, Yoganandaji. And he wrote to one person, "Know that whatever help or power that comes through me comes from my guru. Always look to the highest source of inspiration." But he didn't leave it there. It was not enough to simply repeat the wise words of Yogananda. He would help his listeners to apply that spiritual lesson contained in the words, apply that in their own lives. When he would be asked to share a story about Yoganandaji, I've seen him not be able to think of a story until he thought of the spiritual lesson contained in that story. And then it became not just a sweet story, but it became a practical, useful lesson for his listeners to use. Rather than disciples or students, Swamiji saw me and all of us as spiritual friends. And his close friends were of all ages, and he would just give full attention to each of us. Most of us were 20 years or more younger than he was, but we always saw him as our own contemporary. If someone asked Swamiji for help, he asked Yogananda to flow through him to help this person. Once, when he was very new on the path in the ashram of his guru, Yoganandaji asked him after a Sunday satsang to shake hands with all the visitors as they left the satsang hall. And Swamiji did this, and he came back to his guru and said, "Sir, I don't think this is for me. I don't think I can do this. I felt so drained afterwards of all energy. I felt dizzy." And Yoganandaji replied, and he said, "That is because you were thinking of yourself. Think of God and feel his energy flow through you." And the next Sunday, Swamiji did that. And afterwards, he felt much more energy after shaking everyone's hands. Through giving, he received so much more. And rather than just sharing, as I said, wise words, Swamiji saw that if he could help create an uplifting environment, people would feel inspiration, not through the words, but they would feel inspiration in their own way and at their own pace in that inspiring environment. When someone came to him for counseling, rather than saying, "This is what's wrong with you," Swamiji, he might suggest a change in their daily routine, their activities, in their job or in their associates, to create a better environment for them to learn the lessons they needed to learn on their own, in their own way. I remember a number of times proposed to me assignments for me to do that I just did not feel at all qualified for, because there was a lesson in that assignment. If I were to just say yes, that was the lesson that I needed to learn. Some of you know that Ananda Village in California is not easy to get to. There's a windy mountain road. It's 2 hours from the closest city. And many years ago, Swamiji started creating a garden there. And he said, if we can create a world-class flower garden here, I see busloads of visitors coming to it. And we had never heard such a crazy thing in our lives. It was absurd. There was this narrow dirt road to get to where he was doing the garden. How would anybody go to such a remote place? And last year in April, 17,000 people came to visit that garden, busloads of them, just like Swamiji had said. And so many of the things in his life, those outlandish statements that he would say, are coming to fruition one by one. And those visitors to the garden, many hundreds of them stayed behind and had a sattvic lunch prepared by devotees, attended a meditation class, and some disciples came on this path through a visit to a garden. Yoganandaji in his life did very similar things. He created the beautiful lake shrine gardens in Los Angeles, and he would have public music concerts there to invite the public. He started cafes, vegetarian cafes in Hollywood and in Encinitas. There was I've seen photos, a big sign above the cafe that said, "Mushroom burgers." Because he knew that by drawing people in their own way, if you create that safe spiritual place, they can grow. When Daya and I were first starting to teach classes here in Delhi, we visited the most successful of Ananda's city centers in America, in Silicon Valley, where they have a large bookstore and a school for children, a residential community, many public programs. And we talked to Nayaswami Asha, one of the founders of that work, and we asked her what the secret was of their success. And certainly it's imparting teachings and information, but she said really the basis of it, her words were, we followed Swamiji's example to create uplifting environments, uplifting events, where many people would come together to create and to feel inspiration. Sometimes it may be that the same group of people put on the program, set up the chairs, take down the chairs, attend the program. But for those people, that was the perfect opportunity for seva for them and for them to grow. And just as Master had Swamiji shake hands with the visitors, giving him the opportunity to serve, to think of God and to feel God's energy flow through him. Just the same for all of us, that by giving, we receive, and we feel that divine flow of energy through us throughout the day. Thank you.
Paramhansa Yogananda incarnated on this planet to help uplift the consciousness of mankind and to help usher in a new age of energy, usher in Dwapara Yuga. And he did much towards that mission, towards that goal. But an incarnation, even if you're an avatar, is still only so long. And Swami Kriyananda came to Yoganandaji near the end of his life, the last 3.5 years of his life. And within that 3.5 years, became so attuned to his guru. He had read the Autobiography, taken the next bus from New York to California, and said, I want to be your disciple. Became a disciple, and for the next 65 years, just did God's will through Yogananda's vibration, through Yogananda's guidance through him. And so with that guidance, Ananda was started, and therefore we are all sitting here. And Ananda centers around the world are also all honoring Swamiji today for being that incredibly dedicated disciple, but also for us, for many of us, a living example of how one can live a life. Now, if you all haven't met Swami Kriyananda in person, I know some of you in this room have, but if you have not, I mean, he just passed like 11 years ago, and everything he did, his books, his music, his communities, the corporate programs, everything that he did was just a way of, what does my guru want me to do now? For example, Swami said to Master, he said, you're going to be writing. Yoganandaji said to Swami, you're going to be writing a lot in your life. He goes, what do you mean, sir? Haven't you written all there is to be said? And he said, oh, don't even say that. There's so much more to be said. So Swamiji takes that guidance from his guru and writes 150 books. And as Chika said, the music. And all the time he was always looking like a clean window. How can my guru's vibration flow through to others in this way? And he always told us, even the books that I've written, I took seeds of Yogananda's teachings on education, on business, on family, on marriage, on children, on healing, on all of these things. And I have expanded that and helped manifest that mission more and more on the planet. But so much more needs to be done. And his example of what interests you, what gives you joy, come along, help, let's share it more. Let's take Master's vibration, and even through the ray, through Swamiji, and shine it out more, and see what you feel like when you're sharing it too. And as Keshava said, the more you share, the more you can receive. And that is the secret of joy. It's the secret of Ananda's joy. When people come and say, is this for real? Are people being sincere here, or is this all an act? It's not an act, because we're sharing the way we're following Swami, how he shared, how he follows his guru. So we have these examples of what gives us joy in life. And every single one of us can be true to our own nature and still share. There's room for everyone. That's the thing about Swami. He would just say, what are you interested in? Let's do something with that. So everybody who comes can think, how do I want to be a channel? And we have so many different ways you can be a channel. And so if you're questioning like, well, what? I made a little list. Obviously, meditation, Kriya Yoga. We can all share that. Those of us that are meditating, if meditation has changed our life, can we talk to anybody about it? May not be our immediate family. Maybe they're not interested. But some other people might be interested in it. Autobiography of a Yogi, just some of us just keep, I mean, not me, but other people keep them in their car. And just when somebody feels a little open, just go and give one to somebody. It might completely change their life. We have a family Sangha right now. Children and people doing seva have taken the Education for Life principles that Swami wrote a book about those principles, coming from Master's teachings on education, and they're downstairs right now with kids, parents and kids and other people serving. We need to expand that family Sangha. And most of us have families, so we could be interested in that. So same thing with education in schools. Hari and Shavendra are going to businesses, corporates. You could probably go to a business or a corporate, or you could have them come, or you could think of different ways that within your business you can help uplift people, bring them into this age of light and energy, and don't be focused just on me, my salary, what am I getting out of it, my promotion, my aggrandizement. Anything we do to serve will help us transcend our little sense of self, our ego, and that is really the whole spiritual path. So find a way to share because it will bring you joy. Swami was our divine friend, and like Keshava said, you know, at 87 when he left his body, he had friends that were 18, 19. He had friends he'd been with for 50 years. He didn't treat his friends of 50 years any differently than someone he'd just met that walked in the door. He would see God in everybody. He loved them with God's love, which made us all feel that we were special, that we were more spiritual than we even understood that we were ourselves. And and Yogananda, for those of you who haven't heard this, Yogananda said to Swami Kriyananda, he used to call him Walter because his Western name was Donald Walters. He said, Walter, you have a great work to do. And Swami didn't quite know what that meant, but after Master left his body, Rajarshi Janakananda, Yogananda's successor, said to Swami Kriyananda, you have a great work to do, and Master will give you the strength to do it. And then at least twice, if not 3 times, Swami Kriyananda said to a group of people just like this, he said, Rajarshi told me that Master would give me that strength, and you are that strength. He said to us, you are that strength to do this work, to carry on this work. So when Swami left his body 11 years ago, all of us that want to expand Yogananda's vibration on this planet, bring in the age of energy, share the peace, the love, the joy, the inner contentment that we have received from these teachings. If we want to share that, we have to take that baton from Swamiji, or from us, pretty soon it's going to be from us too, and go with it. And I'm just going to end with this quote by Swami. He says, serving God in others is serving God. Serving God in others is serving yourself in others. Joy is the only thing that everyone seeks. Everyone on earth wants happiness. You seek, and seek. And finally you'll find that helping others, loving God, having ideals in life, these are the things that give you more. When you seek this happiness, you'll find joy. And in finding joy, you'll find a bliss that's eternal. This is yours, and I want nothing more than this. for all of you. I love you in this. And you must love everyone in the love of God because He loves you.